to Berlin, Germany, to attend the G20 Compact with Africa CWA conference on November 20, 2023, hosted by German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. During the conference, President Tinubu will join other heads of state and government of CWA member countries, bilateral partners, as well as heads of international organizations to deliberate on the immediate enhancement of economic and business cooperations with a view to outlining concrete measures to boost investment in critical areas such as energy, trade, infrastructure, and new technologies, among others. The G20 CWA conference will be taking place alongside the 4th G20 Investment Summit, co-hosted by the German government and the German business associations. President Tinubu will return to the country following the conclusion of the conference. Similarly, President Bola Tinubu has announced the immediate cancellation of the automatic deduction of 40% from the internal generated revenue (IGR) of federal universities, citing the ill-timed nature of the policy. The president's announcement was conveyed by the Minister of Education, Tahir Mamman, during his speech at the ongoing 75th Founders' Day ceremony of the University of Ibadan on Friday. The policy was originally to commence in November. Universities will have 40% of the revenues generated internally and deposited in their account will be deducted automatically by the government via the Treasury Single Account (TSA). The High Court sitting in the Federal Capital Territory has ordered that the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, be remanded in the Kuje Correctional Center pending the determination of his bail request. The federal government had initially preferred 20 charge on procurement fraud to the tune of 6.5 billion naira against the former governor. But the federal government reduced the charges to 6 to the tune of over 1 billion naira, which he was arraigned on Friday. The judge said he needed a little time to study the authorities and peruse through the exhibits supplied by Emefiele to support his request for bail. He, however, added that Emefiele be remanded at the Kuje prison pending the determination of his bail application. Maazu then adjourned the case till November 22nd for ruling on the bail application and November 28 for the commencement of the trial. Similarly, the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has affirmed the tribunal judgment which declared the All Progressive Congress candidate Nasir Gawuna winner of the governorship election. The tribunal, led by Justice Oluyemi Osadibi, had nullified the elections of Governor Abba Yusuf by declaring 165,663 of his votes were invalid. The tribunal held that the ballot papers were not signed nor stamped by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Appeal Court sitting in Abuja has on Friday affirmed the election of Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State against his challenger Abubakar Siddiqui of the All Progressive Congress (APC). While delivering the lead judgment, Justice Chidebere Umoma Uwa on Friday in Abuja, he wrote that Abubakar and the APC failed to prove the allegations of malpractices and non-compliance with the Electoral Act 2022 against Mohammed and the PDP. While reacting to the judgment, the Deputy Governor of the state, Awal Jatau, hailed the decision of the court, adding that the resounding victory at the appeal court is a triumph for all the people of the state, as it signifies the PDP-led administration's collective endeavors in advancing good governance, providing quality education, ensuring accessible health care, fostering economic growth, and promoting peace and unity. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has issued Governor Hope Uzodinma of the All Progressive Congress (APC) with his certificate of return in Owerri, the state capital. During the state election on November 11th, Uzodinma gained 540,308 votes, defeating his closest rival, Samuel Anyanwu of the People Democratic PDP, who scored 71,503 votes, and Neji Ochonu of the Labour Party LP, who obtained 64,081 votes. The APC candidate swept all 27 local government areas in the state. In his acceptance speech, Uzodinma commended INEC for conducting the freest, fairest and most peaceful elections in the history of Imo State. The Lagos State Police Command on Friday released singer Aziz Fashola, popularly known as Naira Marley, and Balogun Samson, also known as Sam Larry, after the duo met their bail condition. This was made known by the State Police Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundeyi on Friday in a third statement saying, Naira Marley and Sam Larry, having met their bail conditions, have been released, unquote. Hundeyi, Superintendent of Police, made this known on Friday afternoon after the artist and the socialite perfected their bail conditions granted by a Lagos State Magistrate Court. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, in collaboration with the National Commissions for Persons with Disabilities, have launched an empowerment scheme for persons with disabilities, as over 150 beneficiaries get POS machines, scholarships, among others. Global TV was at the event and brings you the full story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commenced making good his promises to build a renewed Nigeria by empowering persons with disabilities, PWD, gathered in the nation's capital. Speaking Thursday in Abuja while launching the empowerment program, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, said that the empowerment will enable the beneficiaries to provide fishes for themselves instead of being given fishes.
I hereby launch the formal takeoff of the following projects for persons living with disability, which includes, number one, distribution of over 150 POS machines and a take-off sum of 100,000 naira each for operating capital for the beneficiaries.
Speaking earlier, the Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, NCPWD, James Daniel Lalong, has lauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his initiative targeted at empowering persons with disability.
We have received an express directive from the Office of the President to the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to make sure that we step up our intervention to provide more opportunities for persons with disabilities in Nigeria. I want to use this opportunity to thank His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for additional appointment for persons with disabilities.
The SSA Disability expressed delight at the 130,000 scholarship intervention to deserving individuals with disability pursuing higher education in tertiary institutions.
What transpired today is clear manifestation that the Renew Hope agenda of Mr. President has been kicked off and it has been started.
One of the highlights is the distribution of 150 point-of-sale machines, also known as POS, which will enable individuals with disabilities to engage in entrepreneurial activities and enhance their financial independence. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has honored 31 retired senior officials for their commitment to the service of the administration. The FCT Minister of State, Maria Mahmood, who at the dinner presented various awards to retirees who left active service between 1st April to 30th June 2023, said their sacrifices while in service were the sure pillars upon which the administration's successes stand. She urged them to continue to offer valuable guidance to those who still are in service, as their wealth of wisdom is still very much needed. The Citizen Advocacy Group on Mental Health Nigeria, in a press conference on mental health integration into universal health coverage, has called on the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, to include mental health in its guidelines, ensuring that Nigerians have access to affordable and quality mental health. Global TV brings you the complete story.
It's very very important for government to look into this critically, as much as we worry about all the physical health issues.
The Mandate Health Empowerment Initiative recognizes the importance of mental health in the broader context of overall well-being. The founder Mandate Health Initiative, Zion Ame Abba, stated that the World Health Organization, WHO, estimates that more than 60 million Nigerians suffered from various mental illness and that only about 10% of them are able to access appropriate care.
Mental health is a crucial aspect of human well-being that affects millions of Nigerians. Yet, it is often neglected and stigmatized in our society. This is why the Citizens Advocacy Group on Mental Health Nigeria is calling on the National Health Insurance Authority and also the government of the federal government to make necessary moves and deliberate actions to include mental health into the guidelines of the National Health Insurance Authority. It will also interest you to also know that these have a way of increasing access to affordability and equality of mental health care.
Speaking further, Dr. Sa'adat Adam, founder of Secure the Future International Initiative, called on the federal government and all health agencies on the inclusion of mental health.
It is very important for Nigerians, especially the newly appointed ministers, to understand the importance of going back to every document that was assented by the former president so they can include it in their present work scheme. It is very important to also understand that there is truly no health without mental health. I mean, if we talk about mental health today, that's the productivity of every citizen in Nigeria. And so if we don't pay attention to the mental health of our citizens, how do we then expect a productive nation? We are talking about political issues every day. We talk about insecurity every day. We talk about lack of productivity every day. We need to inculcate mental health in everything that we do. So
mental health in the National Health Insurance Authority guidelines is a necessary and urgent step to improve the well-being and welfare of the Nigerian people. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News. The Commissioner of Police in Anambra State, Adeyemi Adeoye, has cautioned residents against taking law into their own hands by engaging in jungle justice. Adeoye said the command would no longer condone situations where people engage in jungle justice by leading suspects to death without trial. The police public relations officer, DSP Tochukwu Ikenga, in a statement, quoted the police commissioner on Friday, saying the perpetrators will be charged with murder. He described any mob lynching of the crime suspects as bestial and worse than the victims. The PPRO says 2 suspects have been arrested for involvement in a recent mob lynching that resulted in the deaths of suspected criminals. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC Lagos State Command has averted an oil pipeline explosion that would have led to the destruction of lives and property in Alimusho, Lagos State. This is contained in a statement signed by the State Command's Public Relations Officer, DSC Oluwaseun Abolorin, on Friday. Abolorin says that the incident also meant to vandalize the oil pipelines of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation in Liberty Estate and its environs. Alimusho local government area was averted on Thursday. He said that this was in line with the zero tolerance of the Commander General NSCDC CG Ahmed Audi to prevent all form of economic sabotage in Nigeria. You're watching Global TV AM News, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the AM News returns, the Managing Director of NEPSA calls for immediate infrastructure development in the Center Economy City Free Trade Zone. The news continues shortly with details of this and other stories right after this short break. Please don't go away. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of the AM news from the Nigerian capital, Abuja. On the foreign scene, Indian rescuers once Friday, it could take another 2 days for clearing rubble before they reach 40 workers who have been trapped in a collapsed tunnel for nearly a week. Evacuators have since been removing debris since Sunday morning to create a escape road for the workers after the portion of the tunnel they were building collapsed in the Himalayan state of Uttarakhand. Rescue efforts have been slowed by debris that have continued to slow workers for laborers to clear the tunnel. Engineers are trying to drive a steel pipe about 90 centimeters wide through the debris, wide enough for the trapped men to squeeze through. By Thursday night, only 19 meters of pipe had been inserted into the debris with the help of the new machine. Rescuers have been communicating with the trapped men using radios, while food, water, oxygen, and medicines have also been sent to the trapped workers via a 6-inch wide pipe. Israeli troops carried out building-by-building searches at Gaza's main hospital as new communications blackout in the territory on Friday compounded fear for Palestinian civilians trapped inside the facility. Al-Shifa Hospital became a focal point for Israeli operations in northern Gaza since soldiers raided the complex on Wednesday, hunting for a command center the state militant group Hamas operates there. Hamas and hospital managers denied the charge, and there has been an international concern about several thousand people, including wounded patients and premature babies, believed to be trapped inside. Israeli authorities have defended their operations, and the military said it found rifles, ammunition, explosive, and the entrance to a tunnel shaft at the Al-Shifa. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu alleged hostages may have been held at the medical facility. The head of the European Union delegation to ECOWAS, Enough Muma, said on Thursday that her organization has budgeted a total of 24.4 million euros to fight against the proliferation and illicit circulation of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria and other West African countries. She noted that reducing the availability of small arms and light weapons would help curb organized crime in the region. This was as the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, says the proliferation of small arms and light weapons was undermining Nigeria's security, calling for collaborations to end the scourge. They spoke at a roundtable meeting on the control of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria held in Abuja. In his remarks, the head of the EU delegation to ECOWAS, Muma, said illicit weapons, which are now even more readily available, threaten the electoral processes, weaken police authority, promote sexual violence, and undermine security efforts to maintain peace. This is particularly worrisome in the face of the rise of criminal activities and violent extremism within the country and beyond its borders. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for Economy, Wali Eden, says the present administration is ready to take the risks of borrowing to finance the 2024 budget. Edwin explained the initiative is to generate adequate revenue as well as reduce its current high deficit financing. The finance minister made the submission when he appeared before the Joint Senate Committee on Finance Appropriation, National Planning, Local and Foreign Debt, examining the 2024-2026 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy. Kikeloma Okiri has details.
Accompanied by the Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue, Zach Adudeji, and the Director General of Debt Management Office, Patient Oneha, Edo explained that the best way Nigeria could fund its annual budget is to spend more money on infrastructure that could generate revenues.
And clearly, in the environment that we have now, both internationally as well as nationally, we are in no position to rely on borrowing. We have an existing borrowing program, and as distinguished Senator Abiru has said, our attempt and our direction of travel is to reduce reliance on borrowing, reduce the quantum and the percentage of deficit financing in the 2024 budget. What is the answer? The number one answer is revenue. government needs to not just maintain its activity, it needs to spend more. So government needs even more. If you look at government spending, if you look at the budget as a percentage of GDP, ours is one of the lowest, maybe around 10%. Even Ghana is at 25%.
The Chairman Committee on Finance and Senator representing Niger East, Sani Musa, in his remark, expressed strong reservation about the 2024 revenue projection of some of the revenue-earning agencies. He noted that going for external intervention would definitely not be an option because it will further push the country to more deficit financing.
Going for more intervention. When I mean more intervention, that means more loans, which is also detrimental to us because we now increase our deficit. And then also the services that we do to this level, the burden will increase. Honorable Minister, we have seen a lot of leakages in the use of government resources. A lot of money that are realized or collected as revenues. A lot of agencies do not remit those monies as at when due. I cannot believe that an agency will receive revenue of 2022 and is showing the receipt of collection in October 2023.
Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
The Central Bank of Nigeria said its monetary policy reforms are beginning to have positive effects on the country's economy. Reacting to the just-released inflation rate of October in a statement issued by the Director of Corporate Communications Department, CBA Isa Abdul Momin, the Apex Bank vowed to return to the evidence-based monetary policy status to restore stakeholders' confidence in Nigeria's financial system. In October, the CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso said there was an urgent need for discontinuation of unorthodox monetary policies and foreign currency management and unorthodox use of ways and means spending. According to data released by National Bureau of Statistics figures on Wednesday, inflation accelerated to 27.33% in October, a slight increase from September's 26.72%. The Apex Bank emphasized that the current inflation rate underscored the gradual influence of the CBN money market reforms on the economy. Oil marketers stated on Thursday that the reason behind the long queue at petroleum filling stations in Abuja and neighboring Nasarawa and Niger State is the insufficient supply of premium motor spirit by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL. The NNPCL, which is the sole importer of product, refuted the oil marketers' claim, attributing the queues in the affected areas, particularly Abuja, to price war. The queues for petroleum at filling stations in Abuja and its neighborhood state in particular, as well as some southeast and south-south states, have persisted in the past few weeks. The National Public Relations Officer, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Okadike Chinedu, noted that though NNPCL had promised to discharge some vessels of PMS at Warri, Lagos and Calabar soon, the product had yet to arrive. This, according to the IPMAN official, was among the reasons private depot owners have raised their cost of their product, leading to the hike in pump prices of the petroleum at retail outlets. That's it on Global TV AM News, and it came to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Fauziya Lukman, thanking you so very much for watching. I'll see you soon.